Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So I kind of want to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies because I think it seems like their season's already over before it even begins. Steven Adams is now getting season-ending knee surgery. And when you consider the fact that Ja Morant's going to be out for 25 games, it's not looking good. I'm just going to call it what it is. Like, it is not looking good for them. This is a team that's also playing in a Western Conference that is fucking loaded. And I kind of feel like in a ways that's an understatement. Yeah, Marcus Smart is still a good player. Like, they've got some guys on their roster that are still pretty good. You know, they got Marcus Smart. Obviously, they've got Jaren Jackson Jr., they still have Luke Kennard, like they have Desmond Bane. They still got good guys on their roster, like they have Derrick Rose as a backup, so like it's not like they're like completely up the creek without a paddle, but I just feel like this season's not gonna go the way Memphis Grizzlies fans think it's gonna go. I feel like a lot of Grizzlies fans had it in their head that, Ja Morant being out for 25 games is fine now that you have Marcus Smart, but now that you don't have Steven Adams, that provides a big issue, because Steven Adams, as much as he's not like a scorer or anything, like he's just a strong body that you have down low. Like, he's very good at just defending people. He's a solid rebounder, not the greatest scorer in the world, but like He plays kind of like a Kendrick Perkins role on their team. I mean, he's better than Kendrick Perkins, but I think you get the idea. He's just a big body down low that really kind of anchors that defense in a way. Like him and Jaren Jackson Jr. really anchor that defense. And Marcus Smart, obviously a great defender. Like, they're still going to be a solid defensive team. I just feel like the Western Conference is way too loaded for them to come out there with just Marcus Smart and Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane and expect to win games. You look at the Western Conference, you got the Lakers, who improved a lot. You've got the Denver Nuggets, who are still a good team. You got the Phoenix Suns, who managed to grab Bradley Beal, and, they've got Kevin Durant. Dallas made some improvements as well. Granted, Dallas is another team that I'm not exactly high on, but the Memphis Grizzlies, it's just the idea that you're losing two of your starters, Ja Morant for 25 games, which is a quarter of the season, and then you've also got, or more than a quarter of the season, and then you've also got Steven Adams going down. It's just like, you know what? Like, this is going to be kind of a growth year for the Grizzlies. Like, I can't believe I'm saying that that. I think Brandon Clark is also injured. Like, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty positive Brandon Clark is also injured going into this season as well. I kind of want to look at this real quick. I could be wrong. Isn't he out for the entire season? Brandon Clark injury. Brandon Clark is out with an Achilles injury. But it's just the idea. Like, he checked into a matchup recently. Achilles injury, timetable, and return date. So Grizzlies sidelined for 14 games due to a foot injury. Clark suffered a leg injury as it had to be helped to the locker room, and announced the following day is diagnosed with a torn left Achilles. Oh, okay, so this was last season. So Brandon Clark could come back, but it's just a matter of I'm not sure when. He's a solid player for them, a good defender. So it's just, yeah, they're kind of like, they're struggling at the moment. Like, the start of their season is gonna be kind of shit. I'm gonna call it what it is. Like, probably the first 25 games are gonna be fucking dog water until Ja Morant comes back. And then, like, they'll be better, but I honestly, like, even when Ja Morant comes back, I kind of think to myself, like, if Ja Morant comes back, like, how much is that really going to help this team in the Western Conference? Like, yeah, I think Memphis will probably still make the playoffs, just not as a high seed. Like, ESPN had them as, like, the number 1 seed, I think, or some shit, for power rankings this upcoming season. And I just thought to myself, like, how are they coming out with the Grizzlies finishing number 1 overall when Ja Morant's out for 25 games, right? Like that alone means, like, you're not going to be the number 1 seed. Sorry. But I don't know. Like, they make these things, I think, just for talking points. But it's just the idea. They like, the one good thing about all this is that Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., what the fuck is that one guy's name who was a rookie last year? I can't think of what his name is. He was pretty good. Jake LaRavia. Yeah, Jake LaRavia, David Roddy, Kenneth Lofton Jr., maybe Gregory Jackson II. Like, all these bench guys, the one good thing about this year is, like, Desmond Bane, Luke Kennard, Jaren Jackson Jr., all these other guys they got on their bench, they're going to get playing time, right? So, like, they're going to be a team that's going to rely heavily on their bench, and I like the idea of, like, Jake LaRavia getting more minutes, David Roddy getting more minutes, especially at center, because, like, they're going to have to start Jaren Jackson Jr., which means Kenneth Lofton Jr. or Jake LaRavia is probably going to be the starting power forward, or even Xavier Tillman might start. I don't know. But Zaire Williams is a guy that's going to get more burn. Like, the one good thing to come out of all this is because of all the injuries, like, a lot of your bench guys, if you're a Grizzlies fan, are going to get more minutes. Like, that's the one good thing to come out of all this. So, I don't know, man. I'm not sure how all of this is really going to go for Memphis, but I have a feeling it's not going to go the way that, people really think, especially with now the Steven Adams injury. So, I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, for all I know, like, Memphis was still a good team without Ja Morant in the past. Obviously, there was the incident the first time with Ja Morant, now the second time. But, like, the first time when Ja Morant went down, like, Memphis didn't suffer a whole lot. Like, they're still a solid unit, but without Ja Morant for the first 25 games, I'm just kind of like, I don't think this team is going to win a whole lot in the beginning of the season. And really, if they're not careful, like, I don't think they'll be abysmal, but I don't think they're going to beat, like, your top tier teams. I just don't think, like, this is a team now that I'm looking at that it's like, okay, OKC could give them a run for their money. I don't think they're beating the Lakers. I don't think, like, there's a lot of teams I think, like, yeah, they'll be competitive, but they're not going to beat them, and it sucks, but it just, that's kind of the reality of the situation. And honestly, if you're a Memphis Grizzlies fan, it's like, it's funny because, like, before, a lot of Grizzlies fans I saw were like, oh, Ja Morant is out for 25 games, who cares? Like, our team was still good even without him, so we'll be all right. But I'm kind of like, yeah, you know what, now, this upcoming season, you're gonna miss him. Like, I'm just gonna tell you what it is. Like, you're gonna miss Ja Morant because Marcus Smart is not a good shooter, and now that you don't have Steven Adams, it's kind of like, yeah, shit's getting thick real quick. So, I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see how Memphis does, but NBA opening night is tonight. Tonight's the opener. We got, I think Golden State is playing Phoenix, and I think the Lakers are playing the Nuggets. So tonight's going to be an interesting game, especially because Anthony Davis and Bron were saying that, like, Denver should not have won their championship, basically. Like, there was a lot of shit talking going on. So that's probably going to be the game to watch tonight, the Lakers versus the Nuggets. But anyway, tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more. I'm the Fast Break Report, and out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.